Hello viewers and welcome to the Earl RS wheel stand review. It's something I've been testing out recently. So as you can see here, I've been making a bit of space in my room, moved out the RC Evo to test it out. There it is on the floor there, give you an idea on the length of it, reasonably long. Now wheel stands obviously not for the serious racer. This is for the people who, you've got your living room and you buy a steering wheel. You want to try out a steering wheel and you fit it to the coffee table and it's too low. So you want something that you can lift up and then put away again afterwards. Something that's not necessarily a permanent device, because we don't all have space for a big old racing rig and race chair to sit there in a corner, especially in the UK, and space is often at a premium. So wheel stands coming very, very helpful, and it's something I thought I'd take a little closer look at. So this one, the Earl RS wheel stand, there'll be links below this video to tell you more. This one's about £85, but I don't have all the details and shipping values and everything else. So you can see the stand there, simple system to it. Undo the middle wheel there and then lift it up, and it makes a nice sturdy device for you guys. So there we are, looking up and down the details. You can see the floor there. Nice floor area, rubber grips that come with it as well, which really stick it to the carpet, so no chance of it moving about. Nice aerial view just to show you in between, how it all sort of ties together. It's very neatly put together. The holes in the floor plate there, we'll come back to that shortly. And now a look at different angles of how the wheel is on there. Obviously this wheel stand is made primarily for the G25, G27 and the Xbox wheel. You can see the pedals in there now, and the foot plate. And this is just so you just pop that in where you want the pedals to extend to, and Bob's your uncle, away you go. It's all pretty straightforward other than that. Now the wires, I haven't tidied all the wires away on this video. You can tidy the wires away, just obviously get some little wire straps and put them down the back sort of support, and it's all pretty tidy and ready to go. But obviously for this review, I'm obviously moving stuff in and out, testing different wheels and all the rest of it. So giving you guys a nice look at it. Obviously there it is with my racing chair. Now my racing chair is a little bit lower than, say, your living room sofa. So obviously you can lower it to the height that you need. This is another view here. I thought I'd give you the legs view. So you can see the pedals, just to make sure that middle bar doesn't get in the way. So whatever you're using, the clutch, there's lots of space there. Obviously I'm a giant, I can't do it with my trainers on, so with the socks it's nice and easy for me, whatever way you're doing it, whether you're using Formula 1 braking in that sense, or whether you're even trying a bit of toe heel technique as well. There's lots of space for the legs to get round there, so it's not limited on space. So if you think it'll restrict your driving in any way, generally speaking though, I think for a wheel stand like this, you do want to be able to drive properly with it, even though it's not necessarily a massively expensive sort of piece of kit. There's a little end on there as well for the gear stick to load onto, so you get my view there of the screen, nice and handy. And that's my view when I'm playing these games for you guys. So it's my 42-inch TV that's getting on now, and many of you are noticing the lag issue within there. Hopefully I will do something about that at some point. Now just a couple more views. Just want to give you guys as many views as possible of the rig. Tidied up a couple of the wires, but I did a better job later in the day, but it was just an example. You can see the gear stick wire I've bound up as well a little bit, so they can just run around the back. Do ignore my room, there's so many plugs and wires and consoles and everything else plugged in there. Fair amount of stuff. So I thought I'd show you guys a range of views. And now for a bit of driving. So this was my first lap on Formula 1 2012 in a long time. Probably since the beginning of the year, really. I think I did a couple of laps last month and that was it. I just don't get the time to play them all these days. But getting stuck in, the first thing you need to test is, alright, so a wheel stand looks nice. The wheel fits on it okay. Let's do a bit of driving. So we start off with Formula 1. Getting used to it around Canada here in the Ferrari. And trying to get a feel for the game again. Actually, I personally find it very intuitive, so it doesn't take long. And a few laps, not only for me getting used to it, but just seeing how the wheel stand wobbles around. So what I've done in this video is it's quite a long video for my sort of reviews. Normally I'd make them a little bit shorter, but I thought I'd include a lot of the testing. When I'm testing these stands out, or the racing rigs, I do like to do a lot of laps, and the videos that you often see they probably represent about less than 10% of what I'm actually doing with my testing. You know, I can often be testing it for many hours. So the first thing really is to do a whole bunch of consistent laps on Formula 1 and just see, you know, this isn't about time trialing, this isn't about perfect gameplay, this is just about having a drive. And imagine somebody using this at home in any given circumstance and whether they can put in some quality drives without needing to fork out for a big old unit. So far so good then. The main thing you'd look to here is obviously the wobble. Every stand has some wobble, generally speaking, unless you're buying a big heavy thing. You're going to get a little bit of wobble from the wheel, just basically down to the structure of the device. You know, if you wanted to buy one made out of steel that was 3 times heavier, then you'd probably reduce the wobble. But it's just down to the centre of gravity really. And so far I hadn't really noticed a problem with it. It wasn't affecting my driving in any way, as you can see. That's fine. You remember, you're fighting a little bit of force feedback. So that's always coming into the mix, into the hairpin, nice and slow through there. And building speed with every lap as well. And the way I looked at this was start gentle and then gradually increase the style and velocity of driving, overdriving if you like, as we go on. So getting a little bit closer to the wall that time, using a bit more of the track now, and every lap just trying to increase the pace a little bit, just so I can get a good feel and sink into the game. Because often what would happen is you'll be well into a race and then suddenly your wheel flies off the stand or something, and that's a disaster. That's not what any of us want. So on to another lap now, trying to find my braking points again. Always a tricky corner, that one. I always find you've got to get the car in very early to line it up for the second part, and then there's always a lack of grip in that second part of the corner. This is always quite simple, under the bridge, guiding the car through there, carrying as much speed as you can, but you're still progressive on the throttle, otherwise it spins out. And then here you're braking at the 100-yard borders, at just about there. Every time you'll make it. If you're on the pace, you'll always brake thereabouts at the right point. So now this is just for having a muck about now. All I'm doing is I like to throw the car about and see how the wheel stands react. Every single wheel stand I do this on, or rig, and I go crazy with it. Not good for your wheels, but at the end of the day, this is about me testing it for you guys to say, right, if I'm going to get really violent, or if my friends come round and they're useless at playing these things, then this is what's going to happen. Usually it's the pedals that take a beating more than the wheel sometimes, but you can see there, obviously, even being really sort of quite vicious with it, the wheel can take a fair amount of battering. Though, as a bit of feedback we'll go to the manufacturer, is you can see you can pull it, and that's the issue there. They haven't supplied any Velcro with that, so you can slide it back on again. So if you're turning the wheel, it's actually quite well on there. It depends on how some people, their arms hold onto the wheel and they hang onto the wheel sort of to rest their arms, if you like, and that happens to you when you're doing very long runs. So the Velcro there is going to be essential. So as I reattach the wheel, and it's the same for the gear stick as well, yank on it too hard and you can pull it off. So but the finish is actually very nice on the product, and the weight is not too heavy. You know, it's a good solid weight. So yes, a little bit of Velcro on there makes all the difference. Now with the gear stick, just having a little feel for this with Dirt 3. Again, it's been best part of a year since I've played any Dirt 3, probably since the final DLC came out for it. Do you know, I did enjoy it, I have to say. It was a lot of fun, and the graphics are still stunning on it. We look forward to Dirt 4 when obviously full proper rally sections, nice and narrow, no rewind button. You've got to go with the damage you've got or restart the entire rally. I like the idea of that. That would be fantastic if that's what we get. And then Dirt Showdown, and Showdown, the future Showdown can be the blowing stuff up and the mucking about. So high speed through this section then, using the gear stick, having a muck about, and again, you know, with rallying you lose yourself in it, so you become a lot more vicious with the wheel. And so I just wanted to see, again, with Formula 1 you tend to be very progressive, very smooth. With the rally it's completely different driving style, so I just wanted to see when I lost myself in this. Now again, I was oversteering a little bit here just to get the back end out, just to use the wheel, use the car a little bit more, and and find out where that takes me. And again, very comfortable. So, you know, if I was to practice and, you know, work on it, I could put in times equal on this to my own rig. So here we go. I was going to test the T500, but it has that big metal plate on it, obviously, for the inverted pedal system. I don't know if you can remove that. There are these bolts on the side. It's not something I was willing to do at the time, but quite possibly you could. But obviously that would prevent the T500 from working on there. I didn't get to try the T500 wheel on the stand, but I think also the clamp that they have may be an issue, so the developer will need to look into that. Obviously the Fanatic fits on okay, but without the Velcro, Fanatic, as many people will know, their steering wheels have rubbish table clamps, honestly. And again, you can see here the table clamp is not ideal, but also it actually goes into the middle support structure there, so you can't put it on there. So that's something which needs a bit of work, but you know, at the end of the day, some Velcro, perhaps a table clamp. I was pointing out the fact an extended piece there on the shelf maybe, which would enable all wheels to go on there. So perhaps an extra 3 inches on the shelf part, a bigger top panel for it could solve that problem. It's something they need to look at as the developers to enable it to use more of these multi-format wheels. But as I say, the pedals, you can move them in there, and no doubt that will be okay. So a little look at that, but obviously without the Velcro and tying it all down, it wasn't necessarily all that practical. Then I look at the panel. I had a look at the panel here. This is the panel center section. So what I was pointing out there was it'd be good if they had they could take the templates and drill all the holes for all the appropriate wheels in the template. And then this is a view you don't really get. This is from my living room TV. This is a new TV I've got as it happened. This is how it's supposed to be used, isn't it? Get my sofa and just see how it works with my sofa. So I had the wheel a little bit higher than I would normally have it. Obviously, my TV is a little bit lower in the living room, yet to go on the wall. But either way, it was just to see how practical it was for using on a game like this. And I was playing a little bit of Showdown. I haven't played any Showdown of the final game as it happens. After doing all the previews. So I was just starting from the beginning of the game, and again, really very practical. You can use it on your sofa, armchair. You can lower the height of the wheel. I would say the only issue for me is you can see if you look at the wheel, there's just a mere couple of inches between my knees and the wheel because the chair's quite low and because I'm quite tall. I'm just over 6'6", so my knees are very high when they're sitting in a chair like that. So it's not as practical as some people who can have it quite a bit lower and more comfortable for them. But either way, I found the wheel very practical to use. And for the G25, G27 owners, it's fine. The wheel apparently works well with the Xbox wheel as well. I haven't managed to test that one, but the owners can help you with that, the company staff. So obviously the details and the links are below this. But overall then, a lot of fun with the wheel stand. I think it's very practical. It's recommended for these steering wheels, definitely. If you've only got limited space, it's a worthy purchase. Playing games with a wheel takes it way, way beyond what it's like with a controller. But that's it from me for now on this review. Links and details below, and there'll be more soon.